There is a sense here, isn't there, an understandable one, that perhaps this hasn't been given the attention that it needs. It seems to have, perhaps for some PC reasons, been not swept under the carpet, but not put in the spotlight.
I just think he's doing this as a knee-jerk vote catcher. He must have been reading my tweets, because I've been all over it with him and Liz Truss. What are you going to do about the stabbings? What are you going to do about society? What are you going to do about exploitation? The thing is, they missed a trick going back 20 years. This has been going on 20 years. Not one government has ever shown any interest in real terms of sorting out what is a thorough mess in this country regarding our youngsters. The stabbings, I mean, I go on every morning, afternoon and evening as part of my job to see what's going on, who's done what, and commenting on it. Every day, if not twice a day, there's some young teenager being stabbed. And nearly always it will be to do with the gangs. And does he have a clue? What is his strategy? All right, saying, oh, I'm going to sort it out. Like what? Where's he going to start? Does he understand how it works? You know, there are 4 different types of gangs, hashtag 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it goes up according to the grading of the drugs that are being sold. You know, what are you going to do about the little kids, 11 years old, on their BMX bikes that are zipping around with little nylon bags on their back that are actually trading drugs? This is an embedded business model crisscrossing across the whole of the country in every town and village, seaside resort. And where's he going to start? It's a massive problem. And the more poverty we get, the more parents will turn a blind eye, because there's a lot of money in this. I mean, there's an awful lot of risk as well of being stabbed. So, like, if a youngster is, say, running hashtag 1, which is like very low-grade cannabis with lots of, like, the weight is made up with sand and flour, and it's got cacophylline in it sometimes, which if you have that with alcohol, it can kill you. And then that lad or girl, because, you know, the gangs consist of 30% of girls. They're not they're under the radar, and they're used as objects for also sort of travelling around and being drug mules and other activities as well. But if they cross over to another gang because they can earn more money, or if they go into somebody else's territory, or if they've done anything disloyal, the gang master, who's creaming it in at about 20 grand a day, orders somebody younger down the gang to stab that person. That's why you're seeing this child on child, young teenager on young teenager. Because if they don't do that, they're going to get stabbed themselves.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, I mean, it's a huge issue. I mean, you're quite right. It's an absolutely enormous issue, and I don't know how you begin to tackle it. But he seems to be focusing more on the grooming side of this, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, the grooming is horrific, whatever you look at any form of abuse. Yeah, what's he going to do, though? Because we've had this before. People don't want to deal with it in case it brings up the race card, you see, and you can't get away from that. That you've got to look at culture and race shouldn't make a difference. If children are being exploited and groomed, it doesn't matter if you're white with pink spots on. It doesn't matter. It has to stop. What is he going to do about it? You've got a whole sort of scenario of grooming. It could be someone who's sat next to you in school, because it's not just middle-aged men. It could be a teenager outside a chicken place. You know, it could be, as I say, Anne Longfield, the former Children's Commissioner, she said last year, before she moved away from the job, that she thought there was someone in every single school. And that's, I agree with her. I totally agree with her. And if you're vulnerable and someone is sort of trying to tease you into doing something with them, very quickly, you've got the hook. The hook is the person that introduces you and then tries to very quickly form a friendship. And then you've got the coordinator, and the coordinators are the cars, the taxis that take the youngsters to so-called safe houses. And when they get there, there's a whole load of people that are up to no good. And then in turn, you become the next hook. And, you know, it just goes on. What goes around comes around. That's the trouble. I don't know where he's going to start. What's he going to start? How is he going to start? Some of this is culture. What's he going to do?
He says it's the PC issue that he's going to address, the race issue, as you mentioned there.